In the introduction video, we saw that typing CPMCAD in AutoCAD launches the CPMCAD window, your control panel for everything the plugin does. In this video, we're going to walk through that interface in detail, every button, every option, every control, so you know exactly what's available and how to use it. Before we dive into the interface, a quick best practice. Save the Excel templates and CPMCAD reference files that come with the plugin to a safe, read-only location, somewhere they won't accidentally get edited. When you're ready to start a new project, copy them from that location to your working folder. That way, if something ever goes wrong or you need a fresh start, you'll always have the originals to fall back on. We also provide a DWT AutoCAD template file, and we recommend using it to create your drawing for CPMCAD output. It's a basic, clean AutoCAD file, and that's intentional. It does include some custom line types that CPMCAD uses for optimal performance, so starting from this template ensures those are already in place. Your company's standard templates are designed for plans, details, and typical production work. They likely include dozens of layers, text styles, dimension styles, and line types that have nothing to do with CPM scheduling. Using a simple, dedicated file keeps your file size down and makes layer control, object selection, and other AutoCAD commands much simpler. You're free to add your own styles and layers as needed, but starting lean will save you headaches. To get started, you'll need to load the plugin into AutoCAD. At the AutoCAD command line, type netload and press enter. A file browser will open, navigate to the CPMCAD DLL file, and select it. Once loaded, AutoCAD will recognize the CPMCAD command and you're ready to go. You'll need to do this once each time you start AutoCAD. There is an option to configure AutoCAD to load CPMCAD automatically at startup using a .bundle folder, but that requires administrative permissions to install to the correct location. We can provide those instructions for licensed users, but for now, netload is the simplest way to get up and running. With the netload command complete, run the CPMCAD command and the CPMCAD window opens. This is where you'll spend most of your interaction time within the plugin. The interface is designed so that the workflow moves logically. Load your data, run calculations, generate output. Before we load anything, let's take a moment to look at the layout. This is your blank slate. As we load data and run calculations, you'll see these sections come to life. Understanding what the windows look like empty helps you recognize when something hasn't loaded correctly or when you need to reload. Let's start at the top and work through each section. Most of the tabs within the CPMCAD window will have default values already set. We recommend using these defaults as they're based on typical CAD standards for plotting and printing hard copies. You can choose to include or to exclude various elements depending upon the results you're after, but the defaults are a solid starting point. Once we load our Excel data and calculate the schedule, the data within these tabs will update to reflect your project. The first thing you'll do is point CPMCAD to your Excel workbook. Once you select your file, CPMCAD reads both the resources sheet and your selected schedule worksheet. For this example, we'll be calculating our initial schedule. One important note, your workbook's first worksheet must be named resources. Don't rename it. It's set this way in the CPMCAD template we provide. CPMCAD looks for that exact name to load your resource definitions. Your schedule worksheets, after that, can be named whatever makes sense for your project. The Excel template we provide includes sample project data so you can see how activities, predecessors, and resources are structured. When you're ready to build your own schedule, start from a clean copy of the template and replace the sample data with your project's activities, durations, and predecessors. You'll notice the columns are color-coded. Orange columns require your input. That's where you enter your activity names, durations, predecessors, constraints, and other project-specific data. Green columns contain formulas. As you add new activity rows, you'll need to copy and paste those formulas down to keep them working. Blue columns are populated by CPMCAD. The plugin writes your calculated dates and float values there. And if you're updating or making changes to your schedule, don't worry about clearing the blue columns first. CPMCAD will overwrite that data when it runs. Anticipate the data entry to be an iterative process. Defining all of your activities, predecessor relationships, and constraints correctly on the first try is challenging, especially on larger schedules. CPMCAD will flag issues it finds, such as missing required columns, invalid predecessor references, or circular logic. Don't be discouraged by errors early on, it's normal. Make your corrections in Excel, save, close, and reload into CPMCAD. Each pass gets you closer to a clean, validated schedule. Once your data is loaded, this is where the core engine runs. There are two calculation buttons in the CPMCAD window. The first is for calculating your initial schedule. CPMCAD performs the full CPM forward pass, calculating early start and early finish dates for every activity based upon your predecessor logic and durations. And then the backwards pass, calculating late start and late finish dates working from the project end date back through the network. From those two passes, CPMCAD computes total float and free float for each activity. Total float is how long an activity can slip without delaying the project end date. Free float is how long it can slip without affecting any immediate successor. Activities with zero total float form the critical path, the longest path through the network, and any delay on that path delays the entire project. Once you've established your initial schedule, that should remain as its own worksheet within Excel. Think of it as your baseline. You can plot the corresponding Gantt chart in AutoCAD from that initial schedule at any time. The second button is for calculating schedule updates. The calculations are the same, full forward pass and backward pass. But when you run an update, CPMCAD prompts you to reference your initial schedule. This is what enables the ghost bar comparison. When CPMCAD generates the updated Gantt chart, it draws your current activity bars alongside faded ghost bars that represent where those activities were originally scheduled in your baseline. This gives you an immediate visual comparison. You can see at a glance which activities have shifted, how far they've moved, and whether your project is trending ahead of or behind the original schedule. All of these elements, activity bars, ghost bars, connection lines, milestones, test labels, are drawn on their own dedicated layers in AutoCAD. This gives you full control over what's visible. You can choose which elements to include when generating the chart in the CPMCAD window, and then further refine the display by freezing and thawing layers within AutoCAD itself. Need a clean printout showing just the critical path without ghost bars? Freeze those layers. Want to show the full comparison for a progress meeting? Thaw everything. It's standard AutoCAD layer management applied to your schedule graphics. Before we wrap up, a few practical tips for working with the CPMCAD window. First, pay attention to the syntax when entering predecessors and resources in Excel. They are case sensitive, and don't put spaces between entries. Separate them with a comma only. Getting us right from the start will save you from validation errors when you load your data. Second, keep your Excel file closed when you load it into CPMCAD. Excel lots files when they're open, and CPMCAD needs read access. If you're making changes in Excel, save and close before switching to AutoCAD. This also applies when saving results back. After you calculate the CPM, the successors, early start, early finish, late start, late finish, total float, and free float values can be pushed back into Excel using the Save to Excel button, but your spreadsheet must be closed for that to work. Third, the CPMCAD window stays open while you work in CAD. You can switch between the window and your drawing without closing and relaunching. This lets you adjust settings and regenerate without reloading your data from scratch. Fourth, if your schedule changes, New activities, revised durations, updated logic. Update the Excel file. Then use the CPMCAD window to reload and recalculate. Before generating new output, delete the previous Gantt chart and any related graphics from your drawing. CPMCAD doesn't automatically remove prior output. It generates fresh NZs each time, so clearing the old output out first keeps your drawing clean and avoids overlapping or duplicate graphics. And finally, keep in mind that as your project progresses, your Excel workbook will grow. Your first worksheet is always resources, and that name must stay as is. Your second worksheet is your initial schedule, your baseline. From there, each schedule update gets its own worksheet. So if you have 12 updates over the life of your project, you'll have 14 worksheets in that workbook. Resources, initial schedule, and updates 1 through 12. That's the CPMCAD window, your single point of control for loading data, running CPM calculations, and generating every type of scheduled graphic CPMCAD offers. In the next video, we'll shift focus to the CAD side, what gets generated in your drawing, how it's structured, and how you can work with the output.